Hey guys, welcome back. Let's talk some XRP and some interesting comments. As we all know, probably the biggest catalyst for XRP that we want to see happen as an XRP holder is the fact that they would one day replace the SWIFT banking system. Okay. And even just a fraction of that would do magnitudes for what XRP would be representing from a price perspective. And that's just what I want to talk about here in this video, as we will look into some of the executive comments there from the SWIFT banking chief. Okay, so let's talk about it. For those of you that are new to the channel, though, welcome back. If you are a returning subscriber, make sure you hit that like button. Please subscribe down below. If you are an XRP Army member, if you hold XRP, put those X's down below in the chat as well. And let's get this one going. Okay, so as we get into the price, please remember that nothing is financial advice. Always be sure to do your own research and due diligence. Now, one thing interesting is Tether has surpassed XRP. I don't lump these stable coins into my market cap rankings, but here we look at XRP trading at $2.81, down 1.7% on today's board. And the one thing about this is, guys, we're trading with a lot of volatility, okay? And I think that we did get a little bit of a surge with what we had go on with the expected September rate cuts from the Fed. And for all things considered, guys, this is just something where crypto trading is normal. I think that as we are looking at the trading view here for XRP, just kind of talking about it, we have been in a little bit of a descending trend since essentially the late part of July. Essentially, when we were looking at the July 23rd date, that we have started this downward momentum. And one that if I want to pull up my trading indicator, I will show you guys. This is one where we have not really flashed a green indicator since back in July 9th. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. We did have a little bit of a crossover from the moving averages, but since then, guys, we have been on a little steady downtrend. As you want to look at this a little bit deeper, you could make the argument that XRP is going to be set for a rebound. For me, guys, though, what we're planning on since we had back in July 9th, this huge breakout from where XRP was trading, roughly at around the, as I pull it up here, this was roughly around the $2.25 price level. And then that's when we exploded. And then since then, guys, like I said, it's been a steady downtrend since that date. Okay, so for me, this is just basically where we're at. Okay, nobody would have thought XRP would have hit $3.60 back in July. We did. And then unfortunately, we have sold off a little bit, but it would not shock me one bit if XRP started that next leg up. But I think the rest of the crypto world and the market for that it is being considered, it is just kind of in a wait and see approach, right? And historically, as we look into September, that's been a horrible month for crypto. But as we get into Q4 and what we have coming in Q1 of 2026, still bullish on XRP, okay? And that's just kind of where I stand, all right? So as I get into these comments from the SWIFT banking executive, I do want to share with you guys one of the exchanges that I am partnered with. If you aren't trading on BITUNIX, I do implore you to check out the promotion right now running with my link. You will get a 25% bonus on your futures deposit through September 11th, okay? So simply put, you deposit 2,000 USDT, you'll get an additional 400 USDT in your futures account. So if you are a futures or spot trader, check out my link down below, do your research, due diligence, and if you want to start trading on BITUNIX, you can find that link in the description, okay? But this is what we're talking about. Banks will not use XRP. Now, that would be a blow to all of the morale, I think, for any XRP holder, just hearing that comment. Okay, but as we look into kind of what is known as the RippleNet platform that is managed by Ripple, that's what's used to send crypto anywhere in the world and make cross-border transfers. Now, this is where we look into the RippleNet system as a direct alternative to what SWIFT is currently doing and operating under. And we do talk about kind of how right now the traditional banking system is carried out. And at this point, right, some people will argue that Ripple can replace SWIFT, and other people think that Ripple is not an alternative to SWIFT, okay? We've heard Brad Garlinghouse's comments and how he goes on and talks about that they do not want to join, they do not want to align themselves with and share the load. They want it all. They want to replace the SWIFT banking system, not join, replace, okay? And that's kind of where we look for the dominance between Ripple and SWIFT continuing. It's going to be one that is going to be notable. And the one thing about kind of this whole discussion is, it is imperative for the success of XRP to do so, okay? But one thing about XRP and Ripple, right, in some form or fashion, Ripple doesn't need XRP, but XRP needs Ripple. You can look at it in that favor. I'm just an XRP believer. I think that they are in a different category as we talk about the the conversation to be had about what XRP brings to the table. They're different than any other crypto that I have invested in. Okay, I have them in their own category. It's a settlement kind of system. It's not a store of volume. Or value. It's not a transactional thing for me in terms of completing transfers. It is the transfer. Okay, so it's a little bit deeper than that, and I think that that is one thing that keeps them in their own category. Now, this is where we look into the comments here from Tom Zach. Okay, and if that's not how you pronounce it, sorry about that, Tom. But what he goes on to state is that the SEC's case decision in favor of Ripple is not a sign of resilience or confidence. Surviving lawsuits is not resilience. Okay, so you can kind of see how this rivalry is starting to heat up, and going further, arguing that institutions would not support public blockchains operated by private companies like Ripple, preferring neutral platforms such as Swift. Now, very interesting, okay? And I think that as a user, as a everyday kind of transactor, if you will, this is where I think that, yes, a public blockchain is all public, but it also is that transparency that I think we all seek. And, I know that financial information should remain secure, and it is going to be secure. However, it would be just kind of public in a way that there will be kind of a lot of ways that you can't do certain things that you may be able to do now. And that's something that I think that does give Swift a leg up, but it also is something that I'm trying to rid of the financial system. So it's something that I want to get rid of, okay? So it is something that, in my opinion, goes against Swift. But for some reason, Tom out there is kind of relying on that as being the deciding factor on why institutions and banks alike will choose Swift over Ripple, okay? So expressing the doubt for the banks to be happy about the XRP technology and how it's not a regulated currency and included on bank balance sheets. I do think that all may change one day. However, you go on to, in response of this, Osama Agil, the lead at Shark Force Consulting, arguing that the ledger stands out as one of the most thoroughly tested blockchains in the industry, and emphasizing Ripple's longstanding focus on compliance and regulatory enforcement. Okay, so yes, there was 5 years of legal scrutiny, but there's something where through that time, I think they did come out on the other side and better for it. Okay, I think they did kind of fix a lot of things that maybe question marks before then, and that's kind of the good of it all. Is we did want to take a positive from that lawsuit. I think Ripple is in a good spot right now where maybe this is a little bit expedited, where they can replace some of the Swift transactions that we do have currently going in the world, okay? So I think it's all going to be continuing to evolve, and right now as an XRP holder, we're just sitting back and enjoying the ride, okay? And on a day where, yes, XRP is down, we're not 40 cents, we're not 50 cents, we're not 60 cents. So I think this is just kind of where we sit back, relax. Unless you're swing trading XRP on the daily, we're in a much better spot than we were a year ago, and I think that's kind of the take-home message is we are still very early to what XRP is looking to provide and kind of revolutionize the way that traditional finance is transacted in the world. Okay, so that's what I got for you guys here in this video. Leave a comment down below. Do you think these comments were very interesting? And do you think this is just kind of the start of the battle between Swift and Ripple moving forward? Okay, thank you all for watching though. If you have not hit that like button or subscribed yet to the channel, please do that now. And we'll look forward to talking to you all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Cheers.